Also, I didn't realize that Mucinex, you're like only supposed to do it every 24 hours.
Yeah.
And I've been drinking, I just like take a swig like 3 times a day, like when I feel like.
Do you feel dried out? Like a
yeah, it works.
sandpaper in your chest yet?
And Autumn's the one that caught it. She's our office manager, and she was like, "How often are you doing that?" I was like, "Just anytime I feel."
Man, I'm just drinking.
Do we need an intervention?
Mucinex, I'm hooked. Well, welcome to Tulsa Uncut. As you know, I'm Laurie, and this is the one and only Trent Pollard with PMC.
There could be a few.
There could be a few, but this is the only one that matters. And we are here with a man who needs no introduction.
Oh, gosh.
I know, right? Bryan Sheppard with Coldwell Banker. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome to the show. Does his mic need to be a little closer to him?
Oh, it's good.
It's good. All right, yeah, you're perfect.
All right,
Yeah.
So Bryan.
Thank you guys for having me. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. So for people who don't know, tell us a little bit about what you do.
Yeah, so crazy. I feel like I've got a crazy past. I think everybody has their own story, right? But as of right now, I am the president and CEO of Coldwell Banker Select, real estate company here in Tulsa. We've got offices in Tulsa and the surrounding area, of course, Bartlesville and Owasso and Claremore and all those places. And then Oklahoma City, we've got 3 offices, and then we just acquired a company in September of last year up in Wichita, Kansas.
Congratulations.
So yeah, we're excited. I had to go buy I was driving a Toyota Tundra at 12 miles to the gallon, and I had to go. That wasn't working driving to and from Wichita. So,
what are we driving now?
a little Acura that gets about 40 miles to the gallon, and it's awesome. I love it.
It's a smart move.
I love it.
So you got a lot going on. Acquisitions.
Yeah.
Expansions.
Yeah, it's good. I love the real estate industry, and
how long have you been in this type of role?
Well, this role probably. So I moved here in 2003. So I literally just a couple of days ago, March 3rd, I had my 20-year anniversary with Coldwell Banker. So I've been in the industry for 20 years. Prior to that, I'm a degreed electrical engineer from the University of Tulsa, and I did that for almost a decade. Automation was my specialty there, and so it's kind of weird. You got this engineer geek kind of numbers, really dorky guy doing the whole people thing, right? Yeah, coming in, and so I came into real estate, started selling, and then I was in charge of marketing and technology for Coldwell Banker at that time, Coldwell Banker Raider Group. Okay. And then through some acquisitions and whatnot, and in 2008 we merged with Terry Gartside Realtors. They were number 1 on the west side of the river. We were number 1 on the east side of the river. So we merged, changed the name to Coldwell Banker Select, and then 2 days later announced that we had purchased a company in Oklahoma City. So that's kind of how we entered into that market.
Pretty quick then.
Yeah, really quick. Really quick. Of course, that was June 28th of 2008, and I think everybody knows what happened at the end of 2008.
What do you mean?
It was a little rough, but it's been great. We've grown and grown and grown and grown and grown, and I love the real estate industry. I love the people that are in here.
Absolutely. One of the things that I really love about your group, your entire brokerage, is the culture. Yeah. So how did because it's different. You guys are literally like a big family. You're welcoming, warm to everyone, all of those things. But as far as the leadership position, how do you manage that with such a wide stretch?
That is a great question, and I struggle with it. We do a lot of really cool and good things at our company, but it is the number 1 in our company is our culture. I would tell you the most impactful thing that I have done, and I've really focused on it, really probably the last 4 to 5 years, is putting the right people, just getting the right people on your bus, right? I've made hires in my company because I wanted that person on my bus. I didn't have a spot for them, but I didn't want to let them go because I knew that I could find the right spot for them. So that's the key.
I love that. So just believing that, you know what, God will open the door. There will be a spot for them.
Oh, for sure.
Let's bring them in.
For sure.
Yeah, I love that.
For sure.
Yeah.
Foundationally, let's back up, because the real estate world we know can be a little bit cutthroat.
Oh, it's
and
yeah,
tough.
it is. It's
To say on the
it's
least.
pretty cutthroat.
So in a day-to-day with the leadership style that you have, you know, the culture plays a lot, but so does the leadership.
Yeah.
So how do you combat, you know, coaching the new agents, keeping up with the old agents, and kind of juggling the relationships, but still creating this space for them where it is educating all the time, because you guys do a great job.
Yeah, you know, it is, once again, we've got close to 1,000 agents in our company, and you know, if you're listening, don't shoot me if I don't know your name, but you know, but it is really hard. You know, you've got to be visible. That's the key. And I think visibility and approachability are the key things, and then you just got to have good people in place to make sure that your agents, that our agents they're constantly in touch. They're constantly having access to the right resource at the right time when they need it.
Yeah.
I would tell you that, you know, my people really take care of my agents. I don't get calls on weekends. I don't get calls in the evenings. I mean, my agents know they've got great resources throughout our company, and they know the right people to reach out to. So it's,
you know, we see a lot of companies that grow and expand, and, you know, the CEO tries, you know, when you're a small company, it's easy to maintain that, right?
Oh, for sure.
And you're
For
popping in, you're having coffee, and you're saying
Yeah.
your hellos and doing all your things. But as the company begins to expand and grow, that presence is less and less and less. And a lot of times, if you don't have the right people in place, the company begins to feel that pressure.
Sure.
And the faulting and the frustration because they're missing their leader.
Yeah.
So for you, you were mentioning, you know, you stay in front of them intentionally. How do you do that?
So, I don't do it enough. I will be honest, right? It is another thing that I struggle with.
Yeah.
You know, we are a large company, and we're family owned and operated. My father-in-law started the company back in 1978.
Wow.
And but you know, you have to go visit offices. I do probably I would say a poor job of visiting my offices as often as I need to just to be visible from that standpoint. Technology has helped, you know, so we can do a company sales meeting every month, and we live stream that to Wichita, and we'll live stream it to Oklahoma City, and then we'll rotate where we're doing those meetings. And you know, so I do get FaceTime with agents. We do big events, like we've got an awards celebration coming up. That's a big event that's coming up, and then I try to show my agents. I've got a live Facebook show, and I try to show my agents every week. You know, we're working for them. There's resources available. Here's some new things coming. Here's updates on the market. Here's, you know, all the things that you need to know about what's going on in the company and in the real estate industry. So,
you know, what's funny is listening to some of your agents. Obviously we do business with a lot of them,
quite a few.
and they're great. But you know, it's so funny because when your meetings are coming at your like monthly meetings or whatever, it's so funny because if I invite them or they accidentally plan coffee, they're like, "Hey, listen, we're gonna have to move this because I cannot miss it."
Yeah.
Like I have to be there, because literally when you go, it's like being on the best game show ever. And it's just the energy in the room is so intense, you know, and everyone's excited, and it literally, like, I'm like, can I go? Can I go and hang out? Just because it's refreshing. It's like literally a revival of agents.
Yeah.
So.
You know, it's funny. And I talked to some people about what's your mindset when you go on stage, right? You know, I'm an electrical engineer who gets up in front of, you know, 150, 200 of our agents every month, and you know, has to come up with something to say and look at them and not my shoes, right? That's the
Right.
That's the deal. And you know, I think to myself, my agents, the information that I have right now, they need to know this. This is going to make their life or their work easier and better for them.
Yeah.
They need to know this. Yeah. And we also have the mindset that, you know, if I've got 200 agents out there in the audience and it's an hour sales meeting and it's $100 an hour, I better give a $20,000 presentation.
Amen to that.
And if I don't, then I have failed them and I've wasted their time. And so we really we work hard to make sure that
they don't miss.
Yeah.
So
That's a good
cancel a
perspective.
meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
So.
I love the leadership style. What is the market doing? Where are we at? What's
Yeah, you know, it was awesome. 2020, back half of 2020, 21 was fantastic. I think everybody in 2021 had their best year.
Yeah.
The last 4 months, I would say, of 2022 was a struggle. We've struggled the first couple of months for sure. I'm hopeful. I think rates are gonna come down. I do believe that they're gonna come down. My concern right now is housing affordability.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the big deal. That's the big deal. So, and inventory being so low. We're
hearing a lot of that. We've talked to some lenders and things like that. And as far as where the rates are, nationwide fair.
Yeah.
We're, in line. But the problem is the affordability, because now what they could get back in those wonderful years of COVID with the 2.75ers and the 3 the low rates that we were seeing, they could afford a bigger house with that lower rate.
Sure.
But now a lot of them are talking about the assumable loans. So hopefully banks are getting really creative.
Well, they have to.
Yeah.
Right. They have to. They're struggling as well. Yeah. There's some leading indicators of things that I watch, and mortgage applications is one of those things that I look at as, hey, are people coming into the market? Right. Yeah. Not necessarily are my agents busy, but are people actually getting with lenders and making application or getting pre-quals, and then they will go out and find an agent.
That's a great question to be asking. Yeah. What do you do, for the agents who are struggling right now, who, don't quite have their foothold? What would you give them for advice?
Get into your office and get around people that are doing business and learn from them and ask questions and just try something. Try something new. That's really the, there are so many buzzwords that are floating around our industry the last couple of years. People got to pivot and people have to, back to basics and all of these things. It's like, I mean, I would tell an agent if they're coming into the real estate industry and they are coming from a job that they had, where they worked, let's just say 40 hours a week, if they put that same amount of time and effort into an independent contractor job where nobody's truly going to hold them accountable, they could crush it. Absolutely. They could crush it. Yeah.
It's a lot about the discipline. Yeah. And, it's funny that you bring up...
And the time blocking. I would say that's the most important thing is time blocking. Set your schedule. There you go. Decide, I'm going to do this for this hour every Monday, and then actually sit down and do that and be committed to it.
Truly commit to it. Yeah.
Do you have a time block schedule?
I have blocks of my schedule that I do certain things. I learned something about probably 5 or 6 years ago that really kind of changed my business life, if you will. Okay. And it's a lot of real estate agents, they've either been through a program called Ninja Selling, or they've heard about ninja selling. And one of the things that they teach is the first hour of the day, not your first hour of the day when you wake up, and when you hit the office, that first hour, don't pull your laptop out of your computer, out of your bag. Flip your phone over. No screen time for that first hour, and sit there and do the things that you should be doing. Get out those note cards and start writing handwritten notes, right? For me, it's a process of, I love, here we are, we're sitting and we've got my desk looks just like this table.
Does it?
Right?
Good, so you feel right at home.
I do, because anytime something comes in on my desk, my job is to get it off it as quickly as possible, right? And so when I roll in the morning and I've got something on my desk, I got that first hour, I blocked that first hour to do things. And that, once you get on the electronics or the emails or the Facebook or
you're gone.
You're gone. You're gone. And you look up and it's lunchtime, and you look up again and it's time to go home. So
that's really good advice. I don't think anyone that's been on the show has really said, get in your office, don't go hang out making your coffee, don't go have chatty Cathy's.
Well, I will tell you, in my role, I use that hour also to go around and talk to my employees. Yeah. How are you doing? I use that time from a culture building standpoint.
How many W-2 employees does Coldwell have?
Oh, W-2. We probably have across our company 70, 72.
Okay.
Wow.
So 72 W-2s supporting 1,000
agents, yeah.
1099s.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a cool dynamic.
That's the world we live in.
I love that.
That's wild.
Yeah.
That's an interesting business because most businesses it's just W-2 employees in an office.
Right.
And then you got leadership for the, but like my past job, the office personnel, we basically existed to support the field work.
Sure.
You know, so like I feel like you're kind of doing that in the same sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely. Our from a company staff standpoint, our customers are our agents.
Right.
You know, and we do everything we can to
Yeah.
support them.
You're at their service,
Yep.
basically.
Yep, that's right.
I love that so much. So the newest addition to Coldwell Banker Select is where?
Is up in Wichita, Kansas.
Wow.
Yep, and it's Coldwell Banker Plaza is the name of the company up there.
Okay.
They've been around a long time. I was personal friends with the owner of that company for a number of years, and he was ready to be done. And his the culture of it was crazy when I went up and started visiting with him. We started talking about what might it look like. His company was a miniature version of our company, culture-wise. Wow. I mean, it was meant to be. It was just meant to be. It was perfect, and it's been awesome.
How many agents do they have there?
About 85 agents up in Wichita, 2 offices, 85 agents.
Oh,
up there.
nice.
Yeah.
That's a pretty big acquisition.
Yeah. I mean, in the real estate world, that's a pretty good size one.
Yeah.
You don't come across. I think they did 250. 2021 they did maybe $300 million in sales volume. So it's a good company.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
How big is Wichita? Do you know the population?
Oh
roughly?
boy, that's a great question.
Pax?
Pax,
Yeah.
can we Google that?
Yeah, let's Google that and let's.
I'm just curious.
We just wanna
Tell
know.
Bryan how big the market is. His company.
Yeah.
I mean, we just want to know at this point. No, I'm like, is it that big?
I
Is
mean,
it bigger than Tulsa?
I don't know that it's bigger than Tulsa.
Right.
It truly is.
Wichita has 395,000.
Yeah.
What?
What?
So it's bigger than Tulsa.
That's what it's saying. Well, Tulsa
I
population.
thought Tulsa was like 250.
I would tell
Tulsa
you.
is 411,
Yeah.
so it's
Oh,
very
so
close.
it's
to
it's a
Tulsa.
little bit smaller.
Okay.
I will tell you that
I didn't realize it was that large.
with Tulsa, you've got Broken Arrow, which is a large community. You've got
Yeah,
Owasso.
absolutely.
You've got some of these outlying areas. Wichita is truly an island. I mean, it is darn near
Yeah, there's not much
3
anything
hours
else
from
east or
Phoenix,
west.
3
of
hours to
Wichita.
Kansas City, 3 hours to Tulsa, 3 hours to Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It's kind of its
Interesting.
own thing.
Yeah.
Do you feel like the market, I mean, obviously, from Oklahoma City to Tulsa is quite different.
yeah.
So how do you kind of navigate? Obviously, you had to figure that market out. So how different is Tulsa than Oklahoma City, really, from the real estate?
Yeah. So I would say that Oklahoma City actually lags Tulsa a little bit. So
Okay.
as we started turning in September, October-ish, as our market started turning, Oklahoma City didn't quite turn as quick. So
Okay.
they maintained their level of business there, and then now it's tracking where we are. Wichita is more similar to Oklahoma City, I would say, than to Tulsa. So they track pretty well with Oklahoma
Okay.
City. Yeah.
I always wonder-
Culture-wise,
yeah.
totally different. Tulsa and Oklahoma City it's wild.
I know. So we
And
have
even
an
in the Oklahoma City area, we've got an office in Mustang and in Edmond, and then in Oklahoma City, and you might as well be in Atlanta, Seattle, and
It is.
Really?
New York City. It's crazy.
That's
So
interesting.
Different
we
culture.
have an office, obviously, in this Tulsa market. We have several, and then we have one in Oklahoma City
Yeah.
and one in Moore,
Yeah.
like Moore Norman area.
Yeah.
And those three,
Yeah.
they're so different.
It's so
I'm like, I
different.
have to rewire because even the events that we go to there, they're just different. It's
Yeah.
not that anyone is better than the other. It's just when you're acclimated and like I've kind of grown up in this environment to go over there, I'm like,
Yeah.
this is different.
Do you think it's because maybe it's more stovepiped up there? Like the different communities aren't as like meshed as Tulsa is?
They are spread out further.
A lot more.
Yeah, geographically for sure.
Geographically, so that's a great question. We've been down there since 2008, and I haven't been able to figure it out.
That's
so-
fascinating.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can't.
It's
I
not-
mean, I'm from that area, so I'm.
Are you really?
Do I have to admit out loud where I'm from?
Yeah, where are you from?
That area.
Yeah.
What? Well, no.
No,
I
I'm
need to
kidding.
know.
I'm kidding. I'm from Guthrie, America.
Oh,
Guthrie,
okay.
Yeah.
Guthrie.
a little
So
north.
little antique
Yeah.
town. Loved it. Went to school there, but I mean, so I'm from there, and still it's like kind of a little bit of a shell shock. And I do think it has something to do with how, like here in 10 minutes, you can be 10, 15 minutes, you can be just about anywhere. There, it's going to be more like 20, 25, 30.
Yeah.
Like really.
Yeah.
Because if you look at, I mean, kind of like big city wise, you got Oklahoma City, and then Oklahoma City to Norman it's safe to say about 20 minutes.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, it takes me 20, 30 minutes to get from my Edmond office to my Mustang office.
Yeah.
Depending on traffic, like I-35 stays pretty jammed up.
Yeah. So it's just different. I mean, I think it's different. And, you know, I have noticed there that they have a lot of boutique brokerages
They do.
compared to
They do.
here. Like here we have some, but it's not as like there it's saturated.
Yeah.
You have your big boys or big gender neutral, I don't know, your big companies.
Yeah.
And they're still the big companies, but
Yeah.
you have all these different boutiques. And
Well,
I'm
and
like, huh.
we're starting to see that more here in
I'm
Tulsa
seeing it
as
here
well.
starting, and so that's something that they kind of led the way on.
Yeah.
Whereas here, people are now starting to do
Yeah.
that.
You know, we've had for years and years, we've had, you know, really kind of the big four here in the Tulsa area: Coldwell Banker, Select, McGraw, Chenoweth and Cohen, and the Keller Williams companies. And it's hard. It's harder to be a kind of a smaller company in the Tulsa area, just because, you know, effectively 70 to 75% of all the real estate is done by one of those four companies.
Yeah.
And so it is difficult. In Oklahoma City, it's not the case. There's, you know, maybe one or two that have had double digits, but not near what we have here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder what percentage of transactions one of those four is involved in. You know, like is it like 80% of every transaction in Tulsa, one of those four is involved?
Oh, where it's like,
you know,
either
what I mean?
buyer or seller side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I wonder.
It's
I mean, it's
And
got to
then you
be
like
over 3/4.
yeah,
You would
it's
think it would be-
75%.
Yeah, I
just
would
the same,
guarantee
yeah.
because I mean, then you factor in you've got, you know, some other ones that have come to the forefront.
Yeah, you've got
EXP,
Solid Rock, you've got
Solid Rock.
EXP, you've got some Remax Results as well as doing a great job, and there's some really good companies out there.
Yeah.
True.
And, you know,
And I love the differences that everyone offers, you know, and
Yeah,
that's
for sure.
kind of, you know, when people come in and, you know, we'll have meetings, they're like, so which is your favorite brokerage? And I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't have one.
Yeah.
What are you needing?
Right.
Because they
Right.
all offer something different, and what they offer is unique to their culture, to their people, and it's not that any one is better than the other. It's just what a realtor's needs are.
Yeah.
There's certain brokerages that will meet that, and some that's not their forte.
Yeah, I say that every company is a good company for a good number of people. They're not the
Yeah.
best company for everybody.
I like
Yeah.
that.
You know, and
That's
That's
good
a
quote.
great answer.
you know, it's really you know, it's hard for an agent though, as they come into the industry, or they're trying to find the company that fits. I mean, you have to join a company to see if it fits, right? And
Right.
So to experience their, you know, what they've got going on, and their support, and their
Right.
training, and their leadership, and
We need like a personality test. What brokerage
Yeah,
should I work
yeah.
for?
Well,
Yeah,
you know,
right.
they get their license, and before they can do anything, they have to put it.
They
in
gotta
a
place it with
brokerage.
somebody,
You have
so,
to place it
yeah.
somewhere.
Oh,
So,
really?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so oftentimes the conversation that I end up having with a lot of agents is they hang it somewhere, and maybe it's not a good fit. Well, then they're like, "Well, I don't want to brokerage jump because I've already got my cards," and I'm like, "Okay, that's 5166 off of Canva. We can get you a new card. Like it's fine."
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like that can't be. If it's not a match, move. But what I try to inform them of is let's not make several moves in 1 year.
Yeah.
Like let's
Yeah.
actually date them. You
Yeah.
know, stay where you are. It's fine.
Have some
you know,
conversations.
But have some conversations. Kind of date the brokerages and see what actually would fit your needs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But half the time they don't even know what they need.
Right.
And that's a disservice, or kind of bothers me a little bit in how the process is done, because these agents pass their test. They work really hard, they pass their test, and then now what?
Right.
You know, and they don't know what to do. They're at a brokerage that maybe is a good fit, and they just don't know how to plug in, or it's not a brokerage that's designed for them.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so they oftentimes don't know where to go, and they're scared to go talk to other places because they're like, well, they're just going to tell me everything great about it. And I'm like, reach out to the agents.
Yeah, every
that work
company
there.
is number one. Every company has the best marketing. Every company has the best training.
Yeah.
Everybody, you know,
Sure.
so that's where it comes into. You know, I always say the number one question that an agent should ask is culture. Let's talk about the things that drive the culture in a company. The number two, and you've asked this, is leadership. From the top down to the office managers and the support staff and whatnot. Then you can get into what kind of marketing, what kind of tech, what kind of administrative support, what sort of dollars are we talking about? All those things.
Yeah.
I believe those are tertiary questions to the one and the two.
Yeah.
Because if you join a company and the culture doesn't fit, or the leadership doesn't fit, or you just don't enjoy it, you're not going to engage, and therefore you're not going to sell real estate at your potential.
Absolutely.
Right.
And so nothing else matters.
Right. And there are some people, who, realistically, they're not designed for a big brokerage. And
Oh,
that's
for sure.
where the boutiques, I love my little boutique brokerages because they're great for people who that's too much. Like they don't want all that. They don't feel that they need all that, or that makes them super anxious. You know what I mean? And so they can go into these smaller brokerages and it's more like a very tight family unit. They, it's just a different feel. And that's again, where you go into, if you are a new agent, learning those things about what you truly need will help you seek out the best place to be.
Yeah.
For
sure.
yourself.
Yeah. So you said you've been with Coldwell 20 years?
20 years.
20 years. So
Yeah.
you didn't jump around brokerages?
Yeah. So if you earlier I had mentioned that my father-in-law started
the one and only Sam Rader.
19
So
Sam
you
Rader
were
in
wise,
1970.
you were
Yeah,
wise
yeah,
to
yeah,
not
yeah,
do that, I guess.
Yeah, his whole life would have probably not been. We
It
wouldn't
would have been
have
ugly.
him today.
It would have been ugly.
Okay.
Yeah. So yes,
That's
Sam
funny.
Rader's a great.
I have been with Sam since day one.
Very cool.
In real estate. So.
What's the difference? Like what was Coldwell like 20 years ago compared to now?
It's pretty interesting. So I was an electrical engineer at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Automation was my specialty. So
what did you do specifically?
Yeah.
What was your job?
So for a few years, I was coding and working in the packaging and the conveying industry. So we did a lot of work with breweries and Coca-Cola and Pepsi.
Okay.
And, I did a lot of work with can companies and made the machines do the things to, move the product from here to there. Then I got a chance to start an engineering division for a company up in Chicago. So we moved up there for a couple of years.
Wow.
Grew, had some rapid growth over a couple of year period. And at the time, my wife and I were married. We had one kid when we moved up to Chicago, had our second kid up there. And then it just got to the point where I loved my job so much that I would spend 12, 14, 16 hours a day at my job.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's not good.
no, it wasn't. I love my job,
Not
right?
so good.
But I love my wife more.
Yeah.
So we made the decision to kind of get out of engineering.
Mm-hmm.
At that, like right when that went down, Sam had just inked a deal with Gordana Duca Realtors and was going to grow his company by 50%. And said he needed a guy like me. And I'm like, I don't know what you need an electrical engineer for in the real estate world. So I came in and put me in charge of marketing technology with, virtually no website at all.
Mm-hmm.
And we had our own little postcard program where we actually had a machine that would address all of the postcards. And it was a massive undertaking every single month. And now it's like, hey, it's a service. Here we go.
Right.
So
Very cool.
Is it pretty neat to see the growth over those 20 years?
Oh,
when you look back and go,
yeah. And I've learned a ton.
yeah.
I've learned an absolute ton.
You've done a lot of good, I like to say in life, the legacy we leave is like a thumbprint, and so how many thumbprints have you left in someone's path, in their heart, whether they've, stayed with Coldwell or moved on to other ventures.
Sure.
One of my favorite things is that you love them anyway.
Yeah, for sure.
I've got agents who maybe have left and then came back, because they didn't know, what they didn't
Don't know what you don't know.
And you were always so gracious and kind.
One of the things that brings me a whole lot of joy is when I have somebody in my company that ventures off and starts their own company.
Yeah.
Right. And a lot of brokers, a lot of owners, a lot of whatever, they're like, oh, I don't want to see him go. It's like, man, go slay it.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. And I am here for you, right? Always. I mean, there are a number of brokers in town that, I'm personal friends with that have either been with our company or not, that I just know through the industry, and they've started their own gig, and it's always hey, call me if you need anything, especially if you need operations help, if you need, that's,
I love that.
as an engineer, that's kind of,
Sure.
I can really do some good things there.
Yeah. I mean, we're all in this together in the industry. I feel like that's how you got to look at it.
Yeah.
That's how I feel. Coaching people up, coaching them through it, helping them build. I mean, that's probably one of my favorite things about my job is helping other people's businesses grow, because that's what I want to see. Like, that's what excites me is seeing my little babies, and then they grow and then they're building all this amazing stuff. And like, I get a charge out of that. I'm like, yes, great job. Come on, guys, you got it.
Yeah.
So we are blessed to be in this industry. It's a lot of fun, and Coldwell is blessed to have you. But so is the industry as a whole.
Yeah.
Because you're an amazing leader.
Well,
and
I appreciate it.
I appreciate everything that you do for our industry and within our industry, but also for your company.
There's still a lot to do.
Hey, you know what? I'm still ticking. We're working on an early day.
That's right. That's right.
So you have kids, really quick.
Yeah. Oh, I got a quiver full.
A quiver.
We have 6 children.
Wow.
Yeah, we have 6. That would be the number after 5. Yeah.
Oh.
So I've got
That's a lot of fun.
Yeah. So I've got an almost 23-year-old son who's out of college, kind of doing his own thing. I've got a 21-year-old son that's out of didn't go to college, but he's doing his own thing and just crushing it. I've got a 19-year-old daughter who's a freshman at OSU, and I've got a almost 17-year-old daughter. I've got to check my age, right?
Yeah.
It's like almost 17-year-old daughter who's a junior at Bixby.
Oh, wow.
And then we've got a 12 and 11-year-old boys that are 6th and 4th grade. So, yeah.
Man. I mean, you just went up on my, I admire you.
Well, you should admire my
Right.
wife.
She definitely.
Is, I always say I am a early Monday morning kind of guy because I get to go to work.
Yeah. Does she stay at home with them?
She does.
That's
She does.
awesome.
Yeah.
That's
That
super
is-
fun.
Yeah.
That's an engaged little lady right there.
Yeah, she's got it going on. So
Yeah. I tried to be a stay-at-home mom, and I found out very quickly that was not how I
it
was
is.
designed.
It is not for everybody.
Yeah.
It is not for everybody. Yeah.
No,
So.
no, I was not good at that. I did try my best, but then when at that time, my ex-husband, whenever he would come home and be like, bro, you look miserable. I'm like, I need people. I mean, this one little person
need
is
adults.
great, but I need people. Can I take him with me?
I will tell you that my wife has started to come in and work a little bit in our accounting department.
That's awesome.
She has been craving some adult interaction for
Yeah.
the last 23 years. So
And so you're like, it's good.
come on.
Yeah.
We got you.
Well, if you
So.
had any last bit of advice to give any agent, person in the industry, what would your advice be?
Be kind and really care. Whether it's you're working with another agent, be kind to them, right? If a deal is going south, be kind in that deal going south. It's okay. And care about your clients. Don't be in the industry. Yes, we hunt for deals, right? But we build relationships. That's how we stay in this industry for 20 years. That's how we stay in this industry for 30 and 40 and 50 years. That's how we retire out of this industry and really can do some good things in this industry, is if we care. And I think it's just care more. The more you care, guarantee the better business you'll do.
Just be genuine,
I
huh?
love that.
Yeah.
Have a little grace, you guys. Well, thank you for joining us.
Thank you
We
guys
appreciate
so
you.
much. I really appreciate
Hope
it.
you enjoy the Thursday festivities that are going to happen.
It's going to be awesome.
It is going to
Yeah,
be.
yeah.
I cannot wait.
Yeah.
It's a really awesome time.
Yeah.
Everyone has the best time
Yeah,
ever.
Yeah.
So you guys take care, take it easy, and as Bryan Sheppard said, stay out there and be kind.
Yes.
Yeah.
See ya.
Thanks, guys.